to another episode of Dash Talk, where the talk is always disturbing, also stimulating and humorous. And today on Dash Talk, I just want to talk about education, diversity, and manners from a aspect that, beginning with education, I feel like it's such a scam. And I really don't like to say a waste of time because, in my opinion, time can't be wasted as long as you learn a lesson from it or you grow from whatever you went through, whether it was a relationship that you went through and you spent years with this guy or this woman and it didn't go anywhere. Where you learn something from this. So it's not necessarily a waste of time. You were able to grow, you were able to get some knowledge from that situation. And so I don't necessarily want to say a waste of time, but misuse or misplaced time that could be put towards things that can actually help you grow as a person and actually help you to be more self-sufficient or to be able to actually operate in this world and understand what's going on in your world. You know, for me, I feel like from kindergarten to 5th grade, it's okay to learn these things and teach what they teaching in school. It's cool. Maybe even 6th, 7th grade or something like that. But I know once you get into high school, you pretty much know the path that you're going on. You know what you're going to do. You know, if I'm a freshman in high school, I'm a sophomore in high school, I know I'm not going to be an archaeologist, or I know I'm not going to be a biochemist or an engineer. And so I feel like these classes should be optional and be replaced with something different for the curriculum, because if I'm not getting into these fields or I'm not going to use these things, let's just take science. I'm never, in my life as a public speaker, it's never, unless I'm just doing an experiment with my son or something like that, or with some guys and we mentoring and just playing around, and I don't need an expert knowledge on these things. But chemistry, biology, why do I need to learn how to cut open a frog, cut open a pig, and I'm in class learning these things when I could be learning about financial stuff? I could be learning about investments, stocks, bonds, how to write checks. And I remember in high school, I think we might have had a class about that, teaching us how to write checks, and it was maybe a semester of it. But all throughout school, every year, it's an upgrade of science. It's an upgrade of social studies. It's an upgrade of all these classes. And to me, besides math and reading, and right now they don't even have to be writing, because we got so much technology. Most jobs, you probably don't even write, typing something up. So still learn how to write. But okay, math, English, writing, that's universal. You're going to need to use that. And then math, at a certain point, it goes too far. AP calculus, or you going in algebra and you learning. If I'm not going to be building houses or building something, why do I need to know about an acute angle or a isosceles angle? What is this going to do for me in my life? See, I don't feel like education really prepares children for the real world, really prepares children for when you step out here at 18 and just say you decide not to go to college. College isn't for you. You never liked learning. So now, what are you to do? because you were taught so much frivolous stuff that's not really gonna help your financial growth or help your knowledge in this world. So now you go out here and you gotta fend for yourself, and you go work a 9 to 5 job, and you're supposed to work that job for 40, 50 so years, and just expect to get a raise or 401k. Like, this is the stuff that you're supposed to do. So then, in turn, you're supposed to be miserable. You're not supposed to live life. You just supposed to, either live paycheck to paycheck or wait till you get a bonus and then be able to do things. And it's like, all this stuff could be avoided if this stuff is taught. And I really like the way that I see things, the direction and things that I see. Like myself, I plan on being able to take kids and mentor them and bring them into my foundation and show them, look, from 10 to 17 years old, we're teaching you this is what generational wealth is about. This is how you build a portfolio. This is how you go out and you buy your first home. This is what a mortgage is. And you start learning these things. You tell them, this is what an entrepreneur is. This is how you become an entrepreneur. These are the steps that you have to take, or things that you might have to go through. I have to teach you about taxes. Have to teach you about credit, debt, assets, liabilities. And I'm teaching you these things because these are things that will actually help you once you actually get out into the world and you decide that, okay, I'm done schooling. That's too much schooling for me. And even on the other spectrum, if you go to school, a lot of times people go to school and they don't even go into the field that they study. And then in college, it gets even worse. If I go to college and now I know for sure what I want to do. I'm coming to class, or I'm going to college and I say, hey, I want to major in business management. Okay, I want to major in accounting. Now you have to have a minor. Then you have to take other classes that have nothing to do with your field, only to take those classes to make sure you have enough credit to graduate. So again, now I'm learning these things and I'm taking away time from my major of what I want to do in order to learn some stuff that I'm not going to use in my daily life. I'm 31 years old. I can't really think of a time, besides maybe boiling some water for some food or something like that. Like, I can't think of a time when I used science outside of high school. I can't think of a time where, unless it was trivia or something, that social studies came in handy. Like, oh man, I'm so glad I learned that in social studies class. But I know there's plenty of times where I needed to use math. I had to divide something, I had to multiply something. But there was never a time, once we got into algebra, I can't think of a time in my adult years that I said, oh yeah, that acute angle, you have to put it like this, and that's how the isosceles triangle works. I don't use those things. So that knowledge was misplaced. It was misused. And I just don't like the fact that it's forced upon you. You have to take these classes. Art class. It's okay to teach people about being artistic and trying to find your artistic self. That's fine. But the curriculum should be to help the children decide what they want to do. Hey, look, these are the list of classes that we have. We have financial investments. We have art class over here. So, and I explained to you, this is what this is about. This is how you build generational wealth. And on one hand, you want to learn how to draw a stick figure or make a paper crochet newspaper ball or something like that? Or do you want to learn how to build and invest in yourself so that you can live freely? All day I'm going to take the other choice. I'm not going to take that art class. Then we have so many children that's struggling and like, I don't like gym class. I remember so many times in gym class, females didn't participate. Oh, yeah, I don't like getting sweaty. I don't want to do this. I understand children have to be fit, but at the same time, you forcing them to be fit, then they not even doing the things that they supposed to do in class. They coming home with F's. It's lowering their GPA, lowering the chance of them going to college and getting a good education and getting a good job. So now you placing obstacles in front of them after you tell them that this is what they're supposed to do. I just really don't get the education system, and for me, it's really getting out of control. And I feel like people like myself, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, Troy, Rashad, 19 Keys, like high level conversations, they actually teaching and going around the world telling people about these things to where now it's opening more doors because financial literacy. This is so important. So much more important than social studies, history. Like, and the stuff that they teach you in history class, a lot of it's a lie. Or I understand history repeats itself, but it's never been a time in my life where I use a story about Napoleon Hill. Like, that never helped me in life. And then the things that did happen in history that you hiding from me, and you're not telling me that someone created a certain thing or someone that looked like you made something happen. And so now I don't even believe that I have the intelligence or opportunity to make these things because you telling me that somebody else did it and nobody that looked like me did it. So in turn, what are the chances of me doing it? You taking it down right there. So it's like education for me is really a hard spot because in school I was very intelligent and I made good grades and all that stuff really amounted to a diploma. And that was it. And after I got the diploma, after jamming so much of this knowledge that I really didn't even want or didn't even care for into my head, forcing me to take these classes, now I don't even use it. So now I wasted so many years of my life, or not wasted, but misused so many years of my life that I could have been putting towards financial literacy. Because for me, one of the first things that I wanted to be, besides a football player, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But like I had somebody teaching me how to play football. I had somebody teaching me how to run, how to block. I never had somebody teaching me, okay, this is what an investment is. This is what Wall Street is. If you look at the stocks, go here. If I wanted to, I couldn't go into the school and say, hey, I want to sign up for this class. The option's not there. And that's the thing that I feel like leads to so much crime in our culture, because the option isn't there. If you don't know you have that option, then you feel like you don't have a choice. I met so many guys while I was in prison that excuse for being in prison was, I was born into this. I ain't have a choice. Oh, where I'm from, you ain't got no choice. This is what you do. But you do have a choice. Nobody gave you the choice. Nobody showed you the choice, because The options weren't presented. But you have a choice. My dad owns a hauling company. He's an entrepreneur now. Grew up in the heart of the city where a bunch of crime was going on, but chose to go a different way, chose to do a different thing because he saw his option. And his option still was hard labor. Driving buses, getting a CDL, driving trucks, working 4 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, or 4 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. Come home, go to sleep, repeat. Until he built up enough money to go get his own truck, and then, all right, now I can get a fleet of trucks, and still works hard. So he saw a different option, but if you don't see the other options and you think that these are the only options in the game, then yeah, of course you have no choice. If I give you a game and I don't give you the rules to it, and I just tell you, yeah, you can only roll the dice once and you can only move as many spots as the dice say, then I don't think I have another option. But in the rules, it says I can roll the dice, and if it lands on doubles, then I can roll again, and I can go as many spots as I want to. But somebody else knows this, and they playing the same game. And I'm wondering, they cheat? How they doing that? And I don't find out until later into the game that, oh, this was an option. Now it's too late. Now I'm already put in a bad position. Now I'm already playing catch up. And I feel like that's what the education system is doing right now. It's not presenting options for our students to know that your only option isn't to come to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job. And if your parents weren't taught these things, and your parents don't really know these things, because now they stuck in the daily grind and the struggle, and they telling you this is how it works. Well, this is my guardian. This is somebody that loves me. Of course, they're not gonna lie to me, and they not lying, but they don't know. They not educated themselves to do that. So why the people that are educators, our teachers, why aren't they allowed to teach these things? I just don't get it. But they're allowed to teach us things that, again, we will never use unless you into that field. And then at that point, it should be my choice. Woodshop. I don't even like to build stuff and do things like that. Like I had to put together my son's crib, and that wasn't something like pleasurable that I wanted to do. If I could get somebody else to do it, I would have got somebody else to do it. I'm like, all right, this is my son. I'm going to put his crib together. I had to do it. But that's not something that, if I want to go do that now on my own, as a grown man, and I say, hey, I want to learn about some woodwork and I want to do this, then I got the option to go do that because I have the freedom to go learn it. But it shouldn't be forced on me. You have to take this class. This extracurricular activity, you have to do these things. For what? To be placed in like the knowledge to be misused. The only other classes that I feel were useful besides math, English, and writing, Spanish, French class, stuff like that. Like, okay, I might want to go to France, or I might have a job where I need to be bilingual. Okay, that's perfect. I can use that. But if that's not my field, then I shouldn't have to be forced to sit into that class. That's just my outlook on education, and I feel like the people that are educated enough that know these things, now it's our job to start spreading the word and start bringing these kids in at a younger age and teaching them about these things. Even if the kids do want to get into a different field, you still should be financially literate. to where, okay, I want to go be a biochemist, but I should know how to file my taxes. I should know about different tax loopholes that I can use. I should know about an LLC. I should know if I want to start my own biochemist company, then these are the steps that I can take, or these are the resources that I have at my leisure. But if I never had these options, then I'm just behind the 8 ball my entire life, working, making somebody else rich while I'm living paycheck to paycheck, or I'm living vacation to vacation. That's just not how it should be. And I feel like the people that are educated in these things, it's on us to teach our younger generation these things and learn more about it. And that brings me to my next point. I want to talk about diversity. Our culture, we have to get more diverse, because by us not knowing these things or having these options, once you start meeting different groups of people, you start diversifying and going out into different spaces, people can teach you things about life insurance, or if you want to learn about accounting, you have somebody that you can call and say, hey, I need some help on this. Because for me, growing up, I went to a private school. So I was around multicultural people, white people. I was around these people. So now, as an adult, I know how to interact with these people because I'm diverse. So I know how to use my resources instead of like being lost. A lot of what brought me to this point was when I got to prison, it was so shocking to me that so many black people never had been around white people, unless it was someone that they were selling drugs to, or maybe just like one guy in their neighborhood or something like that. They never been around white people. So now, when the narrative that's pushed by the media is all they know. Oh, this white person evil. This white person messed up. They trying to be a master. And then on the opposite end too, it was so many white guys that I met that hadn't been around black people in their life, to where, oh yeah, as soon as they look at a black person, the narrative again. Now I'm gonna be a victim if I don't get out of the way of this person. This person is gonna take advantage of me. And you don't know them from a can of paint. And I'm able to speak on it because technical difficulties. But I'm able to speak on it because I've experienced it in my life. This scar right here on my forehead. Freshman year of high school, I was going to Dismet Jesuit High School. Right, we had a event before school. It was like a decathlon, something like that, to where it was just a bunch of fun, and all the freshmen came in, and it was just a race between all the different freshman classes and different hallways and stuff like that you were gonna be in. And so at the end of the event, at the end of the night, it was a bull riding, or a mechanical bull ride. And so I get on the mechanical bull, I'm riding, and I fall off, and the bull come back around. Boom, smack me in my forehead. Bust my forehead open. One of the guys that was there, one of the white guys' dad, was a plastic surgeon at a hospital right down the street. And so he said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. This is free of charge. I'm going to take you down the street, patch you up, get you together. I didn't have to go sit in the emergency room. My mama didn't have to use her insurance. And so it's these kind of people that's out there that's willing to help, that's willing to give that information up, that are willing to help us move forward. But we have to not look at them as the opposition. I'm going against them. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm in competition with myself to be the best version of myself every single day. And if this person can help me, then I'm gonna do my best to benefit that person and get the benefits that that person can give me, no matter race, color, weight, height, age, size, whatever. And so we have to start diversifying and meeting new people, going out, putting ourselves in these situations. And on the other end, they have to diversify as well and accept us into different communities. Like I've never had an experience while I was out at this met, and I was definitely a minority out there back in 2005. I never had the experience of somebody trying to take advantage of me or, put me in a bad situation or a racist situation, anything like that. And so I met a lot of good people that I'm still in contact with. I met a lot of good people that helped me out. And it's just about diversity. And even through those situations in school, I was able to grow from that situation and learn how to be a better person from that situation. Learn how, when now I'm in this situation and I see this going on, I know how to talk to this guy. I know how to operate in these realms because of diversifying my portfolio. And I thank my mom for doing that. I didn't want to go, but it was either that or go to ROTC, and it's like, I'm not going for nobody yelling in my face and shining shoes and all that stuff. So it was either that or that. So those are my two options. But I just feel like we have to be more diverse, y'all, and educate ourselves better. The education system to me is really BS, and not being diverse, not going out and venturing out outside of your neighborhood, outside of your city, is unacceptable, because there's things out there that you need to learn that you can't learn from the people that you've been around. They say if you keep doing what you're doing, or you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So let's do better, y'all. And that brings me to my last point, manners. I feel like manners, that's something that needs to be taught right off the bat at a young age. Excuse me, speaking when you walk into a room, sitting up, having the right posture. All these things need to be taught, because then when you do these things, people look at you in a different light. Smile, be polite. These things were taught to me as a kid. And so now when somebody sees me and I walk into a room, although it might be just my energy, but I also have the manners. I always hear somebody say, "Oh, he's so mannerable." And so now that I've opened that door and they say, "You so mannerable," now they willing to do more for me. Now they are willing to treat me in a different manner than they would treat someone else, because I've showed that I have some kind of sense. I've showed that I can operate without being like a hooligan, man. Because even in all the stuff that I did, being out in the streets and messing up and doing criminal things, I always maintained my manners, because that was something that was harped on in my household, to do those things. So once you start doing those things, that's how you can start to grow. So teach your kids manners. Teach them to say, "Excuse me." Teach them how to walk into a room and speak. Teach them how to stand up straight, sit up straight. And it's cool sometimes, like right now, I'm kicked back, I'm in the house. I'm chilling. But I go into a certain room and I'm gonna sit up straight because now that draws attention to you. Oh, that person is doing this. Or I walk into a room, hey, what's going on? How everybody doing in here? That draws attention. You smile, you polite to somebody, excuse me, hey, thank you, you wanna have a seat? You drawing attention to yourself. And it's good attention. So I feel like these are all things that need to start being brought to the forefront. And with Dash Life LLC, those are things that I'm going to be teaching my mentees and even the older guys that come in and I need as role models. Look, this is how we operate, because once you start teaching people these things, then you can make your way into rooms and you feel confident, you feel comfortable in those rooms. If you've never been diverse and you go into a room and you the minority in this room, you're going to feel uncomfortable. So now that you feel uncomfortable, you might miss a door being open because you weren't able to be confident in that situation. Or you might miss a door being open just by not having manners, bumping into somebody and keeping and steady going. Not saying excuse me, not saying thank you for something. Returning something saying you're welcome. You don't say these things then, or you don't perform these behaviors, these acts, you can have doors closed that should be open for you. You don't know about stocks, bonds, investments. Then when you do run into some money, what are you going to do with it? You don't know about financial literacy, or you don't know about the housing market or how to lease a building so that you can get your then what are you going to do about it? When you don't know about taxes and you don't know how to hire an accountant, you don't know what papers you're supposed to file, you're not knowledgeable on these things, then when the money does come and now it's here in your lap, no matter whether it comes from a settlement or whatever it comes from, okay, now you got the money, now what you gonna do with it? Use it and lose it. Then it's gone. Now you're back to the daily grind and daily struggle because you didn't know how to manage the money. No. The last thing I'm gonna say is just like this. In my city, in the city of St. Louis, it's a couple of different neighborhoods that you hear the term, oh, that's $1 million set. They selling drugs on this $1 million set. Yet, it's $1 million over here. They didn't. Nobody that's out here on this $1 million set owns every house on this block. Owns the store down the street. Owns the grocery store up the street. Owns the gas station up the street. But we go and use these things every single day and spend money with them. For what? And then the money that's accumulated, it's not put to good use. It just doesn't make sense. You have all this money flowing through, but then you don't invest it, you don't use it, you don't put it in the right places because you've been misguided, you've been forced to learn things that you don't really need. And then I believe if school was to teach things that people really needed or wanted and gave them options, gave them choices, be less dropouts. I don't want to go to school. I was forced because my mama wasn't going for that. My dad, he wasn't going for that. So I was forced into it. Either I was going to be homeless out here or I was going to be going to school. And I tried to not living with my mama stuff, and it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I'm going to have to follow them rules or break them rules here and there. But for me, had school been made more fun, or I had the options, the choices of what I wanted to learn in the school, and I think I would have liked it a lot better had they had the things that I wanted to learn about. Somebody who was teaching a class about entrepreneurship, I would have been front row center. Let's go. Whenever I was in math class, I love math. Whenever I was in reading, I'm hand up first. What you want me to read? Oh yeah, I read. But then we get into science or history, social studies class, I'm like, I don't really want to be here. So now this is half of my day that I have to art class. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So I don't even want to be here. Like, this stuff is pointless to me. And now I got to sit here and be forced to learn it. Nah, I'm cool. So let's try to make it more about the kids and not, I think this is what you should be learning. This is your curriculum. Let's find out what they need, what they want to learn, what they need. And then build the curriculum around them. Because if school is really about educating them, if they are really the importance of the school to students, why don't the students have a choice in what they're learning? Answer that for me. Just don't make sense. But I'm going to leave y'all with that. Give me y'all thoughts about it. Comment, like, share. The website is under construction. I'm getting it together for y'all. Bunch of Dash Life merches on the way as well. By the time the next podcast drop, I should have plenty of information for y'all. And thank you for tuning in to Dash Talk. Don't just pass through life, dash through life. Dash up and dash out.